It's time for more preseason Lord of Mysteries Glaze, but this time we're gonna make a couple of excuses. We're already making excuses on why it might flop internationally. I have been actually talking about this, but rather arguing that it will do well internationally because of this Victorian setting that is so different from the traditional otaku culture, anime, weeb shit that a lot of the normies kind of reject. But let's see what Mr. Light Novel Historian has to say about this.
The Lord of the Mysteries anime might flop internationally, or at least here are some reasons that might limit its popularity. The first reason is accessibility, since so far LOTM has only been confirmed to air on WeTV, which is the international version of Tencent Video. The vast majority of people in the anime community don't even know what WeTV is. So
damn, so To Be Hero X is not... To Be Hero X is on Crunchyroll, right? 1 second. To Be Hero X Crunchyroll. It is. That is definitely hurtful. Now, I think that the vast majority of people that watches my content, they're not really normies, so they don't really watch anime just on Crunchyroll or just on one platform, right? They have some other means to access these things, but vast majority of people truly are normies that don't understand other platforms, other means to get the anime. So if it's really just region locked in WeTV and there's no like popular mainstream distribution platform in internationals, that's not good.
Community don't even know what WeTV is, so they likely won't subscribe for just one show. For LOTM to truly get good distribution, it needs to be on services like Netflix.
Yes, and it's too late for that, right? I don't know how, you know, in advance they would need to schedule and plan ahead to have shows air, but the fact that this is already like May 19th of recording and summer is just, you know, a couple weeks away, it's way too soon to be having like Netflix or Crunchyroll distributions, right?
Or Crunchyroll. The second reason is dubs. While personally I don't mind Mandarin voice acting, a lot of international viewers prefer either English or Japanese dubs.
Absolutely. And that's why I think that To Be Hero X is doing so well. Believe it or not, a lot of people prefer Japanese dub. They prefer the seiyus that they're familiar with. They're like, oh, hey, it's that Tanjiro's voice actor. Yo, it's Dio's voice actor, right? A lot of weebs, a lot of otaku culture ingrained people will never watch stuff in English dub or Chinese dub because it's just different to what they're used to. And I really believe that's why, like, I don't know if Link Click has a Japanese dub, but I do know that it has a primarily Chinese dub. And I think a lot of people stray away from that. To Be Hero X's success, obviously it's due to its amazing story, telling the production value, but the voice acting, the Japanese voice acting dub, I think is so significant. No matter how you think this is a shallow point, most people, if they hear just Chinese dub, they'll immediately go away. Not because they're racist, but because they're unfamiliar to it.
So if those aren't available, are low quality, or are delayed, it could seriously hurt the donga's global appeal. The third reason is the massive amount of exposition. Volume 1 is very heavy on dialogue and
that's the other thing, right? We talked about the slow burn. How Volume 1 is a very slow burn, setting everything up. And the masses, they just can't appreciate shit like this. There is a way to do this fun, though. Just because it's yapping doesn't mean it has to be boring. Example of boring yapping? Tensura Season 3. 8-Bit Studios had no fucking understanding of how to make engaging commentary and dialogue that builds up hype in the world building as we lead on to the next arcs. But there are shows which I think does this so well. I think ReZero does it pretty well. At least episode 1, which was like a 50-minute episode, just completely thrown into this new world of Lugunica, and we're just being shown how it's, you know, what the culture is, what the history is. Amazing storytelling of show, don't tell, right? Fate as well, exactly. Fate Zero, Fate Unlimited Blade Works, the conflict of clash of ideals and all these different things they yapping can be very good if the direction is good. Hell, isn't there a show called literally Monogatari that Studio Shaft takes on? And it's all just yapping, stylistic poses of head tilting, but because they know how to make this shit engaging, just because they're just having a quote-unquote meeting by a table doesn't mean it has to be boring like Tensura Season 3.
World building. So many anime viewers who expect fast-paced action like Solo Leveling might be put off. That said, Frieren did prove that slow burn series can succeed, so this could go either way.
Yes. Frieren wasn't really yapping though, right? Frieren was more of, I'm gonna just throw you into this expansive world and we're gonna vibe. There is this indescribable atmosphere, the overall mood, the vibes that's been set by the environment, the pace of the storytelling, the different characters and their dialogue that doesn't make you think, oh man, this is a fucking meeting that I have to listen to, but more of, I'm just kind of watching and everything is pretty slow paced, but I'm just kind of locked in and I'm just watching this world just kind of like be experienced.
Either way. The fourth reason is that LOTM is just too long. Volume 1 alone is 213 chapters, so condensing all of that into just...
Classroom of the Elite would like to refute this point. Not that was a good point though. Classroom of the Elite anime, the way that they just slashed out all the fucking contents to cover how many chapters, bro, into a couple episodes of anime? There is a way to do it. It's just... Is that the best way to do it?
Condensing all of that into just 6 hours might cause the pacing to feel rushed or force the studio to cut major plot points.
I think that's more likely what's gonna happen, right? Concise storytelling to address this issue of pacing. A lot of people are gonna be upset that core content's gonna get cut out, but they'll probably just include the most important ones that go on. I would argue that because of the nature of Lord of Mysteries episodes being 30 minutes long, rather than the standard 23 minutes and 40 something second, duration for Japanese animation, that extra like 7 minutes or so, I think would add in more of this buffer that, people would think it's getting cut out. Let's read some of the comments. Okay, the first point really doesn't matter that much since most of us sail the high seas. Here's the thing. You are talking on behalf of your own personal experience as a veteran weeb who just watches animes by torrenting or streaming. There is a huge audience, right? Here's some To Be Hero X, schizographs happening, but let me try to show you what I'm talking about. Let's just say that this is the overall anime, audience pool, right? These are the weeb circle. I think that the portion of this audience that only watches anime through torrent or streaming, or maybe like this. How do I know this? I don't really know. But I'm just trying to give you my own opinion based on the analytics that I personally seen and gauging like statistics and reviews and ratings and scores that I've seen on Crunchyroll for, let's say, shows like Solo Leveling. I think that the hardcore weebs that only watches anime, the torrenting shit is like over here. And I think that vast majority of normies that tourists are out here that don't even know what a fucking torrent is, that don't even know what streaming is. They only have a Netflix subscription, they only have a Crunchyroll subscription, and they only watch anime when something popular as Free Rent or Dan or something is happening. Again, how do I fucking know about this? We would need to do like an analytical survey and gather all these different data points, which is honestly impossible. But I truly believe that the audience that only pirates or torrents and has access, on the high seas is a minority. I think the biggest part of the tourists are just silent lurkers who just watch shows through their normie platforms, man. I have genuine trust to the pirate site I'm using. But again, it's not about you. It's about how well will this be, received by the international rating. Like, if we look at Crunchyroll, right? Crunchyroll Solo Leveling breaks records, right? If you look at shit like this, Solo Leveling has broken several records, blah, 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 right? Solo Leveling like breaks new anime streaming record, blah, 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 all this shit, right? It's the biggest streaming star after the new release. The ratings are crazy. But all these people, again, that's rating all this shit and watching it through Crunchyroll and stuff like that, they're the blue. You are in the white. To you, you're fine. But if you want Lord of the Mysteries to have that mainstream appeal, to hit that wide of an audience that these other normie shows do, you need to cater towards the normies. So having a mindset like this, yes, for you it's going to be fine, Santori Rorona Zoro. But for other people, that's clearly not going to work. The great pirate era is upon us. Title Lord of Mysteries might flop. Pirates, oh hell no, you don't have to worry about us. We're here to help. But again, you don't understand that you are such an insignificant statistic compared to the biggest audience out there who are silent lurkers. Most anime fans pirate anyways. No, they don't. This is an echo chamber of weebs who think that their reality is everything. People can only think from their own lens and their own perspective. I guarantee you, bro, pirates are an insignificant portion of the overall audience that watches anime. Reasonable development, nah, it just need Klein to talk about the Grain Act and the anime will be peak. I don't know what that is, probably a reference out of context. I pray the anime gets subbing, dubbing it deserves. I absolutely agree with this, man. I really hope that it gets a Japanese dub because I don't think that if you already have your content region locked in WeTV and the fact that it's Chinese dub, this shit will be filtered away from the mainstream audience. This might actually perform worse than To Be Hero X. And the reason I'm bringing 2B Hero X right now is the fact that 2B Hero X is doing really well in the international audience and maybe Japan too. But 2B Hero X is not hitting records like Solo Leveling, right? 2B Hero X is not gonna hit numbers like this. You know why? Because it is like Chinese animation, and it also has like a 3D, you know, model that looks like Arcane that a lot of people kind of get filtered out by. But even then, 2B Hero X is doing really well. And I think the Japanese dub really accommodates the tourists that would never watch this anime if it was Chinese dub. You stack on the fact that it's already region locked in different platforms that the normies don't even know about. And you don't have a Japanese dub. This is a recipe for disaster. I would invest in this series if I had any money to take my money. They don't need money. Fucking, what's it called? Tencent, the company, you know, that's backing this. They're good. They're good on the money. Now Kaka will farm the video. That's damn right, we Shogun. Absolutely, I will. Set the sale times to become a pirate. Pirates will level me down. Manhwa, Donghua don't need an international market to succeed since there are massive Chinese market for them already. Thank you, KQ, for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate it. See, you are right about this. China doesn't need the international market. China is doing fine in China territory. Domestically, they do not need us. But the argument being made right now is about the international appeal. How will the people outside of China receive this feedback? And for me, specifically as a content creator, obviously, views are everything. And if it does well in their international market, then we all succeed. We need, or at least I need it. I'm just gonna be very honest with you guys. If it doesn't do well internationally, it's gonna be a flop. And I don't think we're gonna have to drop the show. We'll have to see exactly what the turnout rate is. But like, yes, China doesn't need it. But in order to hit numbers like this, if you want to appeal globally, you need to appeal in the outside the domestic audience. This is why I say you guys to not hype it too much. Stop jinxing Lord of the Mysteries. Well, this only feels bad if it flops and people are like, oh, you glazed this shit and it did bad. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with something flopping. And there's nothing wrong with trying to glaze it to get this shit, you know, going on. Like, I'm doing my job being a lazy piece of shit, reacting to other people's Lord of the Mysteries content because I want Lord of the Mysteries to do well, because obviously that's going to be better numbers for me in the future and a lot of more people can enjoy these things. And it's just, again, I don't think it'll be a debate scenario, but I hope it does well. If they're looking for quick gains, then yes, long story might be bad, but considering the amount of effort they seem to be putting in, they want it to be top series for a long time. We're talking about the pacing. I really don't care if it flops or not. I just want to see it animated to experience the amazing story again. The popularity it has right now is already enough for me. No need to appeal to normies that more likely than not will just add problems in this community. Gatekeeping. And gatekeeping is context dependent. Sometimes you want to gatekeep. If there's a bunch of new people coming into the anime sphere, and let's say they are basically going against the established cultures of the otaku culture, like for example, how many times have you heard of like these new modern, you know, anime fans coming in and basically trying to like go woke? They see like fan service and they call it, oh, wow, that's so fucking creepy. That's such a sex pest behavior. Or they see like lolly stuff and they're like, you guys are all pedophiles. People can be very intellectually dishonest, bringing in, you know, their new tourist energy into an established community that was already made with a bunch of like societal rejects back in the day. And in that aspect, yeah, I think gatekeeping is important to in order to, you know, what's it called? In order to like preserve the culture that even started this community. But when you shut the gates and you completely block off the influx of new people coming in, your existing community, they're going to die out. That's why you need a healthy balance of welcoming in tourists, but also making them understand that these are the established rules and norms and cultures. And if you're not going to basically accommodate these things, get the fuck out. It's the same thing in reality too, right? You got immigrants coming in and you want to make sure that they kind of like adjust into the society and the culture that's expected for them to participate into the society, right? If they're just going to be crashing out, doing their own thing and basically ruining what's already been established, then that becomes a problem, right? As a Chinese Lord of Mystery reader myself, I'm blown away by how much hype it is internationally. Is it right now? I don't really know, other than, you know, light novel historian and some other content creators talking about it. Although it's my favorite one, it's not really the one and only, just one of the most popular novels in China, top 5 of all time. But on YouTube, I feel like you guys are hyping it like it's the Bible or something. Well, that's just content creator business. Anytime you got something new coming up and you're trying to do hype marketing so that when the time to reap the, you know, the harvest comes, it's better for us. And by the way, why would there be Japanese dubbing when it's a Chinese web novel that sets story in the Victoria British? English dubbing will make more sense. I agree with that. The Victorian setting, the whole English dub, that could be very compelling. Are they gonna do English dub though? I actually don't know. Yeah, we need a British dub happening. We need some oi bro, fucking beans and tuna involved. But yes, context matters, and I think that it makes more sense to watch animes like this in English dub. But at the same time, that doesn't matter in terms of grasping the existing anime, like the anime culture and the fandom that is used to Japanese dub, right? Because that's still a huge piece of the market, right? Like, I totally get the idea that, like, you don't want to, like, you don't need, like, how do I say this? If we look at this graph, maybe this is like Japan, right? Maybe this is like the Japanese audience, right, of anime enjoyers. But maybe if we zoom out, right? Maybe if we zoom out, we'll realize that there is actually an even bigger pool of, you know, like maybe there's an even bigger pool of, like, these are like Chinese market, right? And in terms of just appeasing them, and they're doing fine, and, you know, we don't need like the Japanese dub to cater towards these guys, right? I get that logic. And who knows exactly how big this really is at the end of the day. But this still exists. And this is still like the mainstream, like you gotta kind of work off of it. So I don't agree with the take that like Lord of Mysteries needs to stay gate locked, region locked. We don't need the international normies. Let's just keep it in China. While for the sake of like Lord of Mysteries will do well no matter what, I'm just wanting it to be received by the broader international public more than anything else. All right, to conclude this video, let's read the response. Now Kaka will farm this video. There's a light novel historian. Is he aware of the shameless farming that I'm doing right now? I give him full permission to him and anyone else to make reaction videos on my videos. Only helps me and my brand. He can react to as many of my videos as he wants. Based. Thank you so much. And this is the overall, like, what's it called? This is the mindset you need. This will get more people talking about it. If you are against, like, here's the thing, it literally can only help. I've only seen one negative reaction to Kaka of this channel until now. What was the negative one? What negative things have I done? I didn't mean him, but there are many who makes negative reviews, just saying. Then great. Like, you trying to silence the negative reviews is stupid. You know why? Because it's better if other people sees the negative review and reasonable people will be able to tell that negative review is just grifting, that it is just rage baiting. It's always good to have everyone see from different perspectives and for them to make their own conclusions. If you think that like silencing the negative reviews like that, dislike bomb, this shit doesn't matter. Those are retards, and sensible, reasonable people in your community knows what, you know, grifting is or what genuine, authentic content is. Also, this is also great mindset, right? Like, that's why other people reacting to my content or something, it's a whole fucking feedback loop of more people talking about it, more content gets out, more eyeballs are put in. You know, my audience is going to get mixed with his audience is going to get mixed with my audience, that's going to cross-pollinate. We all grow together. If you think that people are stealing your content and your views are going to get taken away because some other person making reactions is going to take the video away, that says a lot about your content, straight up. Reactions, I truly believe, can only help both parties out. This whole idea of cannibalizing content only comes into place when your individual content actually fucking sucks and other people will only watch the reaction of that content because they prefer to hear the commentary about what I had to say rather than what Light Novel Historian had to say, which is clearly not the case because he is absolutely killing it with the farm session. Please go check out Light Novel Historian's channel. Link in the chat. Go give the video a like. Go sub to his channel if you want. I can't sub because spoiler alert. See you next time.